One war on this list killed more people than World War I and World War II combined, and most people have never heard of it. War is the darkest thread running through the fabric of human civilization. In the last 4,000 years, historians estimate there have been fewer than 300 years of genuine world peace. The rest, conflict. But some conflicts were so catastrophic in their scale and destruction that they reshaped entire civilizations, erased empires, and altered the course of human history forever. Today, we rank the 5 deadliest wars in all of recorded history, measured by total lives lost. Welcome to Fresh Top 5. To understand the scale of what we are about to describe, these are not wars measured in thousands of deaths. Every conflict on this list killed millions. Some killed tens of millions. One killed more human beings than live in all of France today. These are numbers that should stop you cold. Coming in at number 5, World War II, the Great War, the war to end all wars. It didn't. From 1914 to 1918, more than 30 nations were pulled into a conflict triggered by the assassination of a single man, Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary, in Sarajevo on a summer morning in June 1914. What followed was 4 years of industrialized slaughter on a scale the world had never imagined possible. Generals trained for cavalry charges sent men into machine guns. The Battle of the Somme alone saw 57,000 British casualties on its first day, July 1, 1916, still the single bloodiest day in British military history. Across the trenches of Belgium and France, an average of 13,000 men died every single day for 4 years. Mustard gas blinded and choked soldiers in the thousands. Shell shock, what we now call PTSD, shattered the minds of millions more who survived. By the time the guns fell silent on November 11, 1918, at the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, between 17 and 20 million people were dead. Military personnel, civilians, entire generations of young men from France, Britain, Germany, Russia, and beyond, simply gone. And the unresolved tensions it left behind would detonate into something even worse just 21 years later. Number 4, the Taiping Rebellion. This is the entry that shocks most people, because this war killed between 20 and 30 million human beings, and most viewers watching this video have never heard of it. It is the deadliest civil war in the history of the world, and it was fought not in Europe or the Middle East, but in 19th century southern China between 1850 and 1864. It began with a man named Hong Xiuquan, who, after failing the Chinese Imperial Civil Service examination 4 times, experienced a series of visions. He came to believe he was the younger brother of Jesus Christ, sent by God to establish a new heavenly kingdom on earth. His movement, the Taiping Heavenly Kingdom, grew with astonishing speed. At its peak, his army controlled a territory the size of France with a population of 30 million people. The Qing dynasty fought back with a ferocity that matched the rebellion. Cities were razed. The city of Nanjing, the Taiping capital, was destroyed so completely that it took decades to rebuild. Conservative estimates put the death toll at 20 million. Higher estimates reached 30 million. More people died in this single Chinese civil war than in all of World War I. The Taiping Rebellion is history's great forgotten catastrophe. Number 3, the An Lushan Rebellion. We go back even further now, to 8th century China, to the Tang Dynasty, one of the most sophisticated and powerful civilizations on Earth at the time. In 755 AD, a military general named An Lushan launched a rebellion against the imperial court that would last 8 years and cause such catastrophic loss of life that historians still debate the true death toll to this day. The scale of destruction was almost incomprehensible. Census records taken before and after the rebellion show the population of the Tang Dynasty fell from approximately 52 million people to just 17 million. That is a loss of 2/3 of the entire empire's population in 8 years. Some of those deaths were direct combat casualties, but the majority came from famine, disease, and the complete collapse of infrastructure across a civilization that had taken centuries to build. The rebellion destroyed the Tang Dynasty's golden age. The China that emerged from 8 years of war was diminished, fractured, and deeply scarred. Conservative estimates put the death toll at 13 million. Higher estimates, based on the census data, suggest up to 36 million lives lost. Either figure makes this one of the most deadly events in the history of our species, and almost no one in the Western world knows its name. Number 2. The Mongol Conquests. The most devastating military campaign in the ancient world, beginning under Genghis Khan in 1206 and continuing through his successors for over a century and a half. The Mongol conquests swept across Asia, the Middle East, and Eastern Europe, destroying everything in their path. At its peak, the Mongol Empire was the largest contiguous land empire in all of human history, stretching from the Pacific coast of China to the doorstep of Western Europe. The Mongols did not merely defeat armies, they erased civilizations. The city of Baghdad, at the time the most advanced city on earth, the center of the Islamic Golden Age, home to the greatest library in the world, was sacked in 1258 by Hulagu Khan. Its scholars were killed. Its books were thrown into the Tigris River. The river, contemporary accounts say, ran black with ink and red with blood. The Islamic world would not recover its intellectual preeminence for centuries. Across China, Central Asia, Persia, and Russia, an estimated 40 to 60 million people were killed as direct result of Mongol warfare and the famine and disease that followed in its wake. Historians estimate that the Mongol conquests killed approximately 10% of the entire human population alive at the time. In some regions, like Iran and Iraq, populations did not recover to pre-conquest levels for hundreds of years. This is the second most deadly series of conflicts in all of recorded human history. And the deadliest war in all of human history, World War II. The numbers are almost beyond human comprehension. Between 70 and 85 million people dead. Approximately 3% of every human being alive on Earth in 1939. More than 100 nations drawn into the conflict. Every inhabited continent affected. In raw scale of death, destruction, and suffering, nothing in recorded history comes close. World War II was not one catastrophe, it was many catastrophes happening simultaneously across the globe. The Holocaust, the systematic murder of 6 million Jewish people and millions of others by Nazi Germany. The siege of Leningrad, where 800,000 Soviet civilians starved to death over 872 days. The firebombing of Dresden and Tokyo. The atomic bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The rape of Nanking in China, where Japanese forces killed an estimated 300,000 civilians in 6 weeks. Every theater of this war contained its own horror. The Soviet Union alone lost between 26 and 27 million people, military and civilian. That is more than any nation in history has ever lost in a single conflict. China lost an estimated 15 to 20 million. Poland lost 17% of its entire population. Germany, the nation that started the war, lost 7 to 8 million of its own people. There is no way to sit with these numbers without feeling something profound about the fragility of civilization. The war ended in 1945. The world that emerged from it was unrecognizable from the one that had entered it. The United Nations was formed. The nuclear age began. Colonialism began its slow collapse, and the generation that survived in every country, on every side, carried the weight of what they had witnessed for the rest of their lives. 70 to 85 million people, the deadliest conflict in the history of the human race.
World War II, the Mongol Conquests, the An Lushan Rebellion, the Taiping Rebellion, World War I. These are not just statistics. Behind every number is a life, a family, a home, a story cut short. The study of war is ultimately the study of what human beings are capable of at our absolute worst and at our most sacrificial best. Drop a comment. Were you surprised by any entry on this list? Subscribe to Fresh Top 5, new Top 5 every week.